Captain America, he's a hero, gonna take the Nazis down to zero. That's the wrong Captain. Okay. By the way, I know they're making a movie out of that. I don't care. Everyone's posting on my Facebook, Captain Planet movie. I don't care. Monty's dead anyway. But I digress. This is the review, my personal opinion, of the Captain America movie. And just offhand, real quick impressions, I liked it. I was very impressed how they could take something so phenomenally silly as Captain America and make it entertaining. And not only entertaining, but actually, you know, you get invested and you like the character, you want to know what's going to happen, all that good stuff. The things that really stood out, I'm sure you probably hear a lot of people talking about it, but the effects on the America kid when he's like, you know, a shrimp, when he's like that tall, very impressive. There's only like maybe one or two moments I was like, yeah, that's a little obvious, but even that's not that obvious. These were very, very good effects on making him look smaller. I mean, really, really impressive. I say the only downside to it is maybe his head is a little too big and his body a little too small, because it does sort of look like a cartoon character sometimes, but they match him up really well, so that's, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be talking about that. That's very, very, very well handled. The best parts are in the first half of it. This actually reminds me a lot of Batman Begins because the build-up and the backstory and all that stuff is surprisingly really good. And like I said, you get into the main character and you really get on his side. You know, it's the fight for the little guy. The way they incorporate the cheesy Captain America costume is very, very clever. I thought they really tied this in, you know, even making the comic book out of it and stuff. It's very, very smart, the way they handle it. I'm so shocked how smart these comic book movies are being treated. I mean, these are comic book movies. I mean, they're just the silliest things that came out of, like, the 40s and 50s and whatever, and they're really treating it with, like, a lot of respect. Okay, how can we make this plausible? How can we make this work? So I'm really impressed with what they've been turning out. So, first half, very, very good. I pretty much have no problems with it. The second half, while not bad, is not as good. Again, this sort of falls into the Batman Begins territory where once he becomes the hero. In fact, I remember the exact point where I suddenly said, you know, I'm not caring as much. And it's because it becomes, oddly enough, very rushed, because the first half really takes its time setting up these people, and then the second half, he says, I have some ideas about the costume, he hands it over, yeah, okay. All of a sudden, he's just in the costume! He's in that silly-looking, you know, helmet with the little painted-on wings and stuff, which I'm sorry, I still can't take seriously. Every time I see it, I crack up. So, the costume they had him in before, with just the helmet and the little goggles and the star on it, that was more plausible. So, it was hard for me to take that seriously, but what happened after that point, I think they felt maybe that, alright, we've had a lot of build-up, a lot of this, let's just throw in the action really fast. And that is what happens. It's like when the action actually comes, it's decent action, but it's really quick. It's just, I mean, when he's in the costume, it's just like, boom, there he is. Kind of like the movie I review, the 1990 movie review, where it's just like, he's in the costume, they just toss it at you. It's like, whoa, okay. And the action sort of works that way too in the second half, where it's just, okay, there's a train coming, let's go! They're on the train! They're just, you know, they're just there. What are we gonna do, knock on the front door? Yes! There they go, knocking on the front door! And it was so rushed, which really jolts you because it's like, oh, okay, well the first half really took its time and to just be thrown in like that, really sort of shakes you up. So that bothered me, but again, it's not a huge problem because that's the comic book part, you know. Well, here's the fighting, here's him throwing the shield. The shield's awesome, by the way. They do a lot with it. You know, here's him flipping around doing all this stuff. Here's him and Red Skull, you know, saying their cheesy one-liners. But for this idea, I mean, again, this is like Ninja Turtles. Like, really? You're gonna make a movie out of this? They did a pretty good job. I was really shocked how invested I was getting into it. Like I said, as soon as he becomes the superhero, the actual superhero with the helmet that goes over the eyes and stuff, I don't want to say it gets sloppy or lazy. That's not it. I think I know what they were thinking. They were probably thinking, okay, we took our time, now we really need to speed up the action and get the people the knock 'em sock 'em that they want. Hugo Weaving as the bad guy is Hugo Weaving. You know, he's sort of like the new Tim Curry. Like, you just know whatever he's gonna do, it's gonna be, you know, over the top. It's gonna be a little goofy, but it's gonna be cool. You know, he's gonna be pretty cool doing it. He's a bit of a boring villain. Not Hugo Weaving himself, just Red Skull himself. I thought was sort of dull. I mean, he's just he wants to be super. He wants to take over the world. I haven't seen that, you know. So, but there's a charm to him, you know. There's because it is Hugo Weaving and he's got those permanent, you know, Satan eyebrows. So, yeah. So for I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I don't know if it follows the comics. I think it does. I know they had the little Psych Hitler thing. Everyone's been telling me that, by the way. It's like, they have the Psych Hitler in there. I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's not as funny as the 1990 review, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, in terms of comics, I think it follows it okay. I was really shocked how, like I said, how much I got into these characters. People who wouldn't like it, I suppose, maybe the comic book fans, though I think they would. You know, I'm sure they're gonna have problems with the way the costume looks, and you know, it could be corny. Or there's a lot of cornball in here, and it's handled in a very fun way. Particularly when he becomes sort of this, you know, big icon, the celebrity. They really poke fun at that, and they do a good job with it. And they're finally, now instead of just doing, you know, little hints at the Avengers, they just show the Avengers trailer at the end, so, you don't see much, but, you know, hey, there they are, okay, you know it's made now at least, you know it's shot, so that's nice. So, yeah, I'm not sure who would, I mean, I'm sure there's people who dislike it, where people who really want to get invested and really like, wow, God, the agony, the pain of Captain America and stuff, it's there in the first half, it's sort of glossed over in the second, so people might have a problem with that, but it's decent. I mean, it's a decent, you know, it's sort of on the same level of Thor, actually probably a little better than Thor, but it's sort of on that same level, like, oh, that was a decent film, you know, not fantastic, but look at the subject material, it's pretty impressive they could pull this off. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Can't think of too much else to say. I'm glad I saw it. Had a lot of good, cheesy fun, and that's about it. Talk to you later.